Because of the contingent nature of film acting, then, the character actor must learn to be open and relaxed in performance, and especially so since she has fewer shots in which to frame the character that will be her calling card as a career worker. Always wholly immersed in a choreography of moves, tics, muscular responses, facial expressions, pauses, enunciations, gazes, and so on, she is yet never certain which of these will turn out to be telltale in the final edit of the film. To call this way of acting passive would be wrong, but to think of it as beat, on the beat and of the beat, might not. It is necessary to relax entirely into the character, not to intend expression too zealously, since the camera is capable of reaching out to take displays regardless of the actor's intent. Rehearsal is therefore not the very best preparation for the character part, while meditation and concentration are. To work effortfully at a production when the final result is in the hands of others who may have no particular regard for one's labor or one's career is difficult under any circumstances, but to work brilliantly and with persisting skill at such an effort is a supreme accomplishment, a kind of existential presence. Once in a while, to be sure, the character actor is handed the limelight and may comfortably play within a bounded space, as we can see in Pleasantville, in a little textbook lesson on timing and the use of props.
Actually, I'm not hungry. Nonsense, young lady. You're inside me up with a nicely breakfast. Sit down. There's some pancakes, eggs, sausage, there's bacon, and of course, I have steak. You eat all that, and it's right off the script.
But generally, the weight of the character performance is established through its balance with that of a star, around whose actions the character player's bits are organized in counterpoint, as we see in this celebrated scene from Paul Greengrass's The Bourne Ultimatum, showing Pam Landy, a creation Ms. Allen calls one of the absolutely hardest characters I've ever played. She claims that she had no idea how to understand someone who worked with numbers and codes all day long, because her mind doesn't make any sense out of numbers or codes when she goes through life. So getting into the mind of Pam Landy was really hard for her, but she did an incredible job.
I wanted to thank you for the tape.
Was that official?
No, off the record.
Tracy, this 50 seconds, Tracy. Goodbye.
Wait. David, what? It's your name.
We have an imminent threat.
I'm going out there. I'll show myself.
Jason Bourne is alive and is at large in New York City, and we believe within 1,000 yards of this building.
What what, Allen wondered, preparing this performance, was all this machination in which she was involved, and who was she really? In a curious way, character performance needs to be natural, not natural in that no construction or manipulation is involved, but natural in that the actor must be thoroughly at home with the character being played so that the performance happens as a direct manifestation of the actor's presence, an expression of a sense of the moment. In the case of Pam Landy, what Allen caught and fully digested, what she was at home with, was precisely confusion, that code numbers and technological jargon and strange street directions are in fact totally arcane and mysterious to her. So it is that in the performance we can come to realize that confusion, disorientation, doubt, and disinformation are precisely the core and quality of Pam Landy's life. To try to exhibit an appearance is futile when one is working in a medium where appearance is negotiated through a power structure and produced through the actions of experts. One must just somehow be. Finally, the acting tradition. Given the competition for work and the dependence of actors upon the success of earlier performances that they cannot have controlled entirely on their own, part of being good at what one does is having the luck to be well treated by others, even in the face of putting one's heart and soul into the focus that is necessary in character work. The last time Joan Allen actually had to audition for a role was for Pleasantville. This hardly means her work gets easier or that her future success has been guaranteed, since in every performance she is perforce vulnerable to the labor of colleagues who might have an incompetent moment or might be aiming for a different emphasis on the screen. Allen is not only good in front of the camera then, but also in her working relations with colleagues on the set. She knows how to be sensitive to what others are asking of her and has built a career in which her collaborators are very often sensitive to her ideas and needs. In this, she is hardly alone, but joins with cohorts of other talented character players, not only of today, but also and importantly of the golden age of Hollywood. She fits into a tradition, a gathering of forces that is of signal worth not only to her, but also to the actors who watch and evaluate her work today. Any film lover watching Allen can see her performances linked to those of Alice Brady, Gail Sondergaard, Jean Dixon, Kathleen Freeman, Thelma Ritter, Patricia Colling, Diane Baker, Jessica Tandy, Gladys Cooper, Agnes Moorehead, and Angela Lansbury, but might not know of their somewhat more deliberate connection to the work of actors Allen passionately admires: Geraldine Page in Trip to Bountiful, Shirley Booth in Come Back Little Sheba, Robert Duvall for his restraint, Katharine Hepburn, who inspired her most as a kid, Vivian Leigh, and the chameleonic Robert Downey Jr. While the films Joan Allen makes have a different style than the films of these luminaries, and while her films occupy an entirely different space in our popular consciousness, still it is true that her work also takes its place on the very same screen as the work of actors who went before. The history of Hollywood is alive and present for those who take it seriously. To give just one example, there's a line of connection between Agnes Moorehead, frozen with hopelessness, as she listens to her stiff and uncontrollable nephew in the kitchen in Orson Welles' The Magnificent Ambersons, 1942, and Allen's frozen desperation at a key moment in The Ice Storm.